to get the day camp going, but I know I paid a lot of money for 2 sessions of day camp, like over $600. And if parents have paid that kind of money and expect a service, I think it's really difficult and wrong not to refund their money and also not to have an alternative for them. So that's my main comment, and if there were any grants or anything that was available, that all should have been brought out so that this could have been prepared for prior to summer being upon us and all of a sudden everything's shut down. There should have been an alternative is all I'm saying. I think that's the major thing that I want to say. Okay? It should have been prepared for and parents should have been notified or alternatives should have been given. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like to speak to that? Unfortunately, the director is not available. She was on vacation and then she came back and she's on sick leave right now. But
yeah, so thank you for your comment. So we have the sort of acting director of Parks and Recreation who's here also and can speak to more of the details about the planning for the day camp as well as the strategy moving forward with the day camp. From my perspective as village manager, a lot of the information that I got because I was not here for the preliminary planning and as things were underway was related to a number of concerns, primarily safety concerns, issues with transportation, issues with facilities and accessibility. And so for the children that are participating in the camp, the biggest issue is that we cannot have any liabilities. And so for me, the primary concern was one of liability for the village and for the safety of those children. It really only takes one incident to be a disaster, and no one wants to be the one who has their child that has to experience something because of a lack of appropriate planning and preparation for a day camp. We did, once the decision was made, conferred with the interim director about the plans moving forward with regard to corresponding with parents, as well as coming up with some alternatives for parents who had paid, including a refund option for parents. And I think she can speak specifically to that.
Good evening, Ms. Saunders. There was some planning that went in place for the summer day camp. Parents were notified abruptly based on safety concerns, staffing concerns, and transportation issues. Parents who were involved in this situation were notified in writing and notified by phone calls. If you were not notified, my deepest apologies to you. We will be having a parents meeting for camp parents only in regards to alternative plans that have been put in place for those campers, as well as calculations have been made for prorations, for refunds that have already been sent to our village manager. And we're looking forward to moving forward with trying to do better as far as the planning and execution of the day camp for 2018.
Thank you.
thank you. Next person is Ms. Gina Williams.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I want to touch on a couple of things. She mentioned day camp. I said back
Speaking to the
here,
mic, please.
I said back in March of 2016, when the animals were removed, that should have been shut down, the Parks and Recs, because it wasn't really running correctly. It either needed to be revamped or done away with, and it wasn't done. And if they had did it at that time, those parents would have had from March to the end of the school year to get together and look for alternative programs to get their children involved in. When I came in here the other night for the finance meeting, and I saw the tables back there with the Crayolas and you know, the plastic totes. There were dust balls on this floor the size of my fist. But you want children to be in here? Our children are our priority. That's our safety. We should not allow that. So I applaud her for taking the time to shut it down. Yeah, it was abrupt, but that's what you do when you put kids in a dangerous situation. You don't think about, okay, well, we should run it another 2 months. One of my girlfriend's son was in day camp here about a summer or two and broke his arm. There was no liability insurance. It was under their watch. It could have maybe happened anywhere, but the fact remained, he broke his arm, and the parent had to be called and had to take care of the expenses. The other thing I wanted to speak on, you mentioned the hair tax, Mr. Payton, Trustee Payton, but I can remember when you were the main one against the hair tax. You called it a slush fund. You didn't want to have anything to do with that. It was Griffin, Rudaz, and that legislature crew, or whatever bootleg name they gave it, that were running meetings behind the mayor's back, spending up almost $1 million to Diamond Stewart. But no one talked about that. They decided, yeah. Everybody's coming out the woodwork now saying we're broke. We were broke then. We were broke. You said when you came in the door in 2011, Payton, when we had over 900,000 stale checks in the vault that had never been paid. So all this talk about the sky's falling, yeah, the sky done fell. Y'all just now discovered that? And then you want to try and not give this woman, I don't know what her contract consists of, but I know one thing, she's worth more than what we are paying the last one, who was just a high-paid secretary. Where was the talk about her experience when all she did was answer phones to make appointments? Was that made her supposed to be a manager? Really? This woman got all kinds of credentials and records. So you can't touch her. So Curtis, Theo, Liz, I worked hard. I ain't gonna keep blowing my own horn, but I worked hard walking these streets and being a beast on next door to get y'all in this position. So I want to see some action. I want y'all to sit back and not get on side with this mayor who I've never known her to steer us wrong. She does her job. She looks out for this village. She's helped so many people I can't even begin to name. So y'all better get behind her and do the right thing. Because if you don't, just like I work to get y'all in there, I will work to get you out. I'm so serious. I love y'all, but I ain't about playing games now. We need to move this forward. Cut some jobs, cut some costs, cut some budgets. Stop overworking the police department, double time, triple time, when you can use that same overtime and hire some new officers. Please think past go. Maybe I need to be sitting up there because y'all ain't doing it. Something got to happen, and it's got to happen quick. So let's get it together or leave it alone.
Mr. Bernice?
This is Curtis.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I have comments. Ms. Williams, Gina,
Yeah.
our kids played together. You know that? They played together all these years, right? And I love you as a person. So my decision up here, whatever it may be,
Okay.
it's going to be in the total interest of the village because I have a roof over my head, I have a healthy family, and I have transportation.
Okay.
But at this point in time, everybody put Theo and I, and along with Liz up here to make the decisions that are right for the village. And if we may disagree on some point, please don't crucify me. But I want to work for the total village, the total village.
I understand
And
that.
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work with the village.
Okay.
And I love you.
I do too.
If we disagree, we may disagree, but we're going to do it amicably. So I just want to let you know, whatever decision is made in reference to the village manager, it's going to be done with the whole village in mind.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Gina, I agree with everything you're saying. This village has gone down. There's a lot of things that's needed, especially the police officers. We need safety for ourselves, our kids, this whole village. We need it. We need to bring policemen here. We don't have a lot of money. People can't drive down the streets. They're falling into potholes. Everywhere you go, wherever street you turn on, potholes. Trees, they're falling down. How we know they're not going to fall on our kids? How we know they're going to fall on us when we're driving down the street? I'm trying my best to bring this village back up to par. I don't think nothing is wrong with this young lady here running for a manager. I don't see nothing wrong with it. She's very intelligent. But where is the money going to come from? We just don't have it. I'm not against her one way or the other. I think she probably deserves everything she asked for. If it's 140, if it's 240, she's working for it. We don't have it. Don't hold that against us. Please don't. That's all I have to say.
Okay, Ms. Spoken, sir, is her turn. Ms. Bernie, stay in order, please, we gotta respect everybody.
Mayor, the board, the village manager, and the village treasurer. I want to address several issues. I want to address what you said, Mayor, about the volunteer that we need for the salaries. Also, I was present during that time.
Excuse me, Ms. Bernie, so you can be respectful. Mr. Savier, can we not do that? Mr. Savier, can we please not disrespect our board meeting? You're Richmond Park, and I'm sure y'all will do this in Richmond Park. So don't do that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Getting back to what I was stating, that Mayor stated that you and Trustee Williams, I believe, Wilson, was the ones that agreed to relieve your salaries during that time. I was present during that time also and witnessed that you and her was the only two that wanted to relieve your salary, but Peyton and Brown and the other two that's left now, they decided not to. So to address that, I agree that he was on this board last time and nothing got done. I also want to address what he said also about keeping the board, that the village manager kept everyone aboard except the mayor. I witnessed the disruption several times I came to the board meetings. The disrespect from the men on the board to the mayor was ridiculous. I witnessed that, and it was cruel, it was harsh, it was demeaning, calling you all kind of names. I witnessed that, was unprofessional with the board. I'm glad they're gone. And I see now that we need two more to leave to get the board on straight. Also, I want to address the daycare. My granddaughter attends daycare. I comes here, pick her up, and drop her off. My granddaughter is 4 years old. She loves the daycare. This is what she used to, this is what she likes. This is her first year here. Every day, I have no problems out of her. She loves coming here, she loves leaving here every day. And to get the letter, like I did from the director, she informed us what was going on, and they was gonna have a meeting on Wednesday. But also, too, I want to address that the daycare had never been up here, never been dirty, never smelled. They was cleaning up as I was coming in, picking my granddaughter up. I never seen nothing wrong with the daycare here. And I wish it would get back on board with the daycare so my granddaughter has somewhere to go. Also, addressing that, the taxes, I don't recall anyone stating that the taxes were going to increase or anything. I haven't heard that in the last 2 meetings I came to. So to refer to the tax increase, I think we can afford a tax increase if that's necessary. I think we need the police on board. We need a lot of police officers. And to address our new village manager, I don't understand where the people get off stating that she's not experienced, she's not qualified, and she has a PhD and a master's degree that is well qualified and experienced and educated. To degrade someone for their knowledge and experience and education, that's ridiculous. I have a master's degree and I get paid more than she does. So to say she's not worth it, what she gets, she is worth it. She's underpaid. She's underpaid. She needs everything she can get to get this village in order. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
very much for your
Yes.
comments, we appreciate it. Ms. Bridget Simmons Franklin?
Greetings, Mayor and the board. Good evening. I first want to say that I share the frustration of Ms. Greer, who stood up here and spoke about the lack of support that the police department has received. But I would like to give kudos to them simply because a lot of us know what it's like to be understaffed, overworked, and underpaid. So, you know, when you want to beat somebody down so many times, what's going to make them want to come to work every single day? So I just want to be honest here. They are understaffed and they're probably they're overworked and they're underpaid, I'm sure. But I do want to just tell them thank you for your service and thank you for what you are doing under the circumstances that you all have been given. So I just want to say, Chief paid an email on Monday, letting him know that we were starting the football and cheer camp the other day, and that I requested additional patrol over at the park, and we have seen the police officers on patrol being very visible over there in the area as they've been patrolling. So I just want to say thank you guys for that very much. I also want to ask about the potholes in the community. I just spent $183 fixing my car from accidentally running over I don't even know, I can't even call it a pothole anymore. It's not a pothole. It's a hole that just a human being could just kind of lay in, actually. So I know the last couple months we've been sitting here talking about equipment that we're going to be purchasing and things of that nature, and I understand that Public Works as well might be understaffed. I understand that, but my question is, when are the potholes going to get fixed? The village does look very tacky with them, and not only does it look tacky, we are spending a lot of money out of our pockets trying to get our cars fixed because the potholes are tearing our cars up, and I can attest to that. I just spent $183 getting my car fixed. And also, the last thing I do want to say that the University Park Lions for Volunteer Program, we are hosting Unity in the Community Picnic this Saturday. 11 to 1, the kids will be doing a community service project, beautifying the community. And from 1 to 5 o'clock, they will be having a picnic. We're going to be providing games and activities and food for the kids. So we're asking that you guys come out, support us. It's not just for the kids, it's bringing unity back to the community. As we can see what's going on this evening, we need to be unified in some way. So that's just a small way that we're able to try to come and bring a solution to the issue that we're having here. We would really appreciate the support from all of you guys. Also, lastly, the baseball teams are going to the playoffs this week. The 5th and 6th graders will be starting playoffs tomorrow. We have a home game at Craig Park starting at, I believe, 6 p.m. So if you guys can come out, they're doing an outstanding job. And then I believe the 3rd and 4th graders, they start on Thursday. So I know a lot of people are saying there's not a lot of things for the kids to do out here, but we are trying. We are trying. It's a small group of us that are trying, but we are trying to make some things happen out here for the kids. So the kids will be going out to playoffs this week, and please come out on Saturday to support what we're trying to do in the community. Thank you.
What time is that again?
11 to 1.
It's 11 to 1 will be a community service project. We're just going to be going around cleaning up. We're trying to teach the children the importance of community service and to unify the community. And then from 1 to 5, we're going to be doing the picnic in the park. So we'll be grilling out there. We're going to be doing some games. We're going to have a softball game going and a flag football game going. We're going to be doing just some activities for the kids, and then hopefully we're trying to get some donations down where the kids can have some prizes for just coming out. And so we're in talks now with a few people trying to get a few donations out here for the kids. But it's on Saturday. Please come out. Bring your smiles, bring your positive attitudes, bring your grandkids, nieces, nephews. We're really looking forward to Saturday.
Where?
At Craig Park. At Craig Park. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Franklin, if you'd like to add on to what you were saying, and your wife was talking about that. She cleared up everything about the donations.
Okay, so just coming from camp,
don't know if she mentioned we had over 100 youth in the village that have been out for the free camp, so it's going great. We want to continue just to uplift and be there for our youth in the village. So Saturday is going to be a great day. I would like for someone possibly to come and represent the village as a board members and hopefully some police from the police department, so we can just begin to bring the unity back to our community. So just ask if you have anything to donate. If not, we're gonna make it work, and just you know, it'll be enough for you to just come out and support the kids. We already have a lot of food that we've purchased with our own funds, and we just want to make it happen for the kids. So thanks a lot.
During Mrs. Franklin, just like she wants to, but I has always been there for you guys, and I will be there Saturday. And Ms. Wilson, and I'll donate whatever you need. Come back to me, call me, have my number, tell me what you need. Okay, Ms. Wilson.
I will usually be there, but I'll be out of town, riding my motorcycle this weekend. But I will make a donation, so it could be all the sodas and chips. So if you stick around after the meeting, let me know what you need, and I'll purchase and a donation.
Also, we had a person today, a young man that lives in University Park. He has some equipment, and I sent it over to Ms. India, and we have a lot of equipment. We are going to use that equipment. We will ask that you do it. He's volunteering and donating it, and it's worth quite a bit of money. And right now, he wants to put it in the unit that he knows we have equipment, so that our kids can have something to do in the summer as far as body health. And we want you to work on that with us, with our kids. And I know you can speak on that as well.
Yeah, I'll be able to connect with you directly on that, but they did make a good donation that fits within the vision of what you all are trying to do.
So we're gonna get together as a board, let everybody know what's going on, and our kids will have something to do in the summer. Thank you so much. Thank you. With that said, we will go to, this is something new that we have on the agenda. And I'm very, very proud of it, and I'm happy because it shows transparency in the village. We think you had started it. It's called, I don't know, but before you do that, I want to Mr., I'd like, since it's so positive right now, our engineer to come up with his report before you do that. Okay, Mr. Roberts from Robinson Engineers.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, to the Board of Trustees, department heads, other elected officials, and residents. In case you don't know, my name is Ernest Roberts, and I'm with Robinson Engineering. We are the village engineering representatives for the town, and have been since August of 2011. And since then, we've had a lot of projects, so hopefully we can have some good news to share with you. One of the biggest projects that we're completing as of Friday, June 30th, is the University Parking Project. From the Metro Lot to Crawford Avenue in front of the golf course in Governor State University. That project will be completed, and we're also scheduling a ribbon cutting. Mayor Covington was very instrumental in working out some of the funding in South Suburban Maryland managers. Regarding that, this project goes back to 1996, and we came aboard. IDOT was in the process of removing that funding, and we were able to secure the funding for another 10 years to get the project completed. And I'm happy to say now, if you can look, if you've been by there, it's a very beautiful project. We have yes. I wasn't sure if it was going to be today or tomorrow. I talked to my resident engineer, and we, well, that's good. So the only thing that's left there is the final signs, some cleanup, restoration, and as you can see, it's 100% improvement from what was out there several years ago when there were a lot of potholes and very narrow roadways and so on and so forth. We have closed drainage system, landscaping on the north side of the project, and as well as bike paths too as well, that lead from the train station all the way to the Governor State entrance. So we're very proud of that. It is the talk of the region, and basically, we were very happy to be able to see that project completed and move forward accordingly. This is a continuation of the first phase from I-57 all the way to just short of Governor's Highway. And I would encourage all of you to talk to your state legislators with the current budget crisis at this point. It's very disappointing that this has gone on for several years now. And this is a very busy construction season. And it's very important that the elected officials down in Springfield understand and know the importance of the communities having infrastructure money and improvements. And this is very, very important. And we don't need to have that to stop. So we need to make sure that that we put pressure on them to make sure that they get a budget together. There's millions of dollars of transportation funding that is there, that is just held up because of this situation. So that's very important. But this project will be totally completed Friday, June 30th. And again, we will have more information about the ribbon cutting. We're working with IDOT Central Office, the Illinois Department of Transportation, to set up a situation where we can have a date and time for that, just as we did on the first phase. So again, it's a feather in the cap for University Park to have such a roadway, such a beautiful roadway, fully lit, and it's just a beautiful addition to the village.
I have one question. The going east or west from Cicero to Governors and from Governors to Cicero, that part right there is, are you guys going to, what's the plan for that? Because we don't have anything from Speedway to Cicero. That part right there, and it gets very congested there, it's still one lane on both sides, very narrow. So we have everything around it, but that's not.
Trustee, and I agree with you. Originally, when this project was, this was several years ago, I want to say at least 10 years ago, this was one complete project from I-57 all the way to Crawford. That would have included that intersection. We had signals, what we call interconnect, so when the train signals come down, the lights are in sequence. That was part of the original contract. For some reason, the project never went to bid for whatever reason. And by the time we got to the village, the project was in danger of being cut. So we had to reallocate some of those funds and split the project up into phases. Now, to answer your question, we have talked to IDOT. We have talked to District 1 in Schaumburg about that node section. And we are working with them to possibly put it on their multi-year program, either from 16 to 20 or 18 to 21. So we have it on the radar. We've actually talked to the district engineer and the Bureau of Local Roads about that project because we understand it's a safety issue. Traffic does back up there. And we were in the process of trying to get that as a state-funded project. Again, it's going to be complicated because we don't have a budget. It's going to be further delayed. But that situation has been mentioned to IDOT. The mayor has been very instrumental. We were actually going to set up a meeting with IDOT to talk further about that, to see what could be done to get that section completed. We did apply for safety improvement funding in 2014. It was a very competitive program. At that time, there was only one project that got funded downstate out of hundreds. And we did apply for that section at the intersection. We're still working on that at this point. We are hopeful that now, because of the first phase and the third phase being completed, that IDOT will move that up into their priority and hopefully get that done. So we have been in contact with them on that. So. Just a couple other projects. We have completed the final engineering plans for RTA access to transit. And this was another project that was brought to us. The mayor had contacted the Regional Transportation Authority, and they offered to pay 20% of the match for this project. And basically, the project is in Springfield now. It's been completed, and we're looking at a bid opening sometime September 22nd of this year. And again, that's pending what happens with the budget issues, but we are completed with the planning phase at this point. That will provide for at least between 35 and 40,000 square feet of new sidewalk in the residential areas, and specifically along bus route 367 that runs along Governor's Highway and up through the Governor State University and through the Parkway. So these are sidewalk gaps that have been missing through the residential areas, people walking the streets, and this project will help to shore up that gap and provide more pedestrian access. So we're very happy with that. University Park was one of half a dozen communities that got funded with this particular program, with the CMAP funding. And we've been in contact with CMAP on that, and we have intergovernmental agreements that are in place to pay for that. So again, that's another one that we're pretty proud of to have. Also, another project that was discussed, I think at the last board meeting, was the Will County CDBG Block Grant Project. That's due to start sometime after the holidays. That one is at Sandra and Black Hawk Drive that has experienced major flooding during heavy rains. We were able to get a grant of $170,000 from Will County. We tried multiple times to get funding from them, and we were very happy to finally secure that. So basically, the village had a match for that, and we are working internally, and we're going to work with, I think it's MJ Underground, who was the low bid contractor. We're looking to cut somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000 from the match that the village would have to pay for that project and defer those some of those extra additional items until next year. The main thing right now is we're trying to get this project completed, and we're trying to solve this flooding issue. And basically, we looked at the hydrology all the way up to University Parkway. We upsized all the pipes. So once this project is complete, we hope to eliminate any type of drainage issues or any type of flooding issues that you may have there. So those are the big three that are active at this point. There are several others that we're working on. Again, it's pending IDOT funding. So again, I really implore the elected officials and the residents to, again, put pressure on the state legislators to make sure that they get a budget passed. This is very important so that we can continue the work that we're doing. That date will be determined after the completion date. IDOT has certain procedures, and we will send a memo or a press release to the village once we have dates in mind for that. And again, it will be similar to how it was the first phase, how we did that. It was a very successful project.
Referring to 957, also, that was the budget, what we had on the docket last board meeting that we passed, so everybody will know, the 170 that we were talking to Mr. Richardson. I think he forgot he was there. But this other project, this one will help Sandra Drive and Black Hawk, but we'll let you know what he was referring to. There are certain mayors that are on the planning commission, and I'm one of those. Very few of us that's on that transportation through Southborough and their managers. That's why it's important for the board to be a part of these, because